welcome. Okay, guys, go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna present the East Asian crisis from 1997 to 2001.
Well, what caused the financial crisis? The 1997 to 98, the Asian financial crisis began in Thailand and then quickly spread to the neighbors' economies. It began as a currency crisis when Bangkok on PEC tried to change their currency money to another money that in this case is the US dollar. So in this case, setting off a series of currency devaluation and massive flight of capital. In the first 6 months, the value of the Indonesian rupiah was down by the 80%, in the Thai baht by the more than 50%, in the South Korean by nearly that by 50%, in the Malaysian ringgit, sorry if I spell it wrong, by 45%. The economy most affected saw a drop in the capital inflows of more than 100 billion of dollars in the first year of the crisis. Significant terms about economies in this caused the Asian financial crisis became a global crisis and it spread to the Russian and the Brazilian economy. And, and the Asian financial crisis revealed the state to be the most inadequate at performing its historical regulatory functions and unable to regulate the force of globalization or the pressure from the international actors.
Okay, so now me and my partner are gonna just give kind of a little bit more of an explanation as to in what role did the free market system play in causing the crisis. To properly answer this question and to kind of give a little bit more of an understanding of this role, it is important to take in mind that this financial crisis is related to a currency crisis. At first, excessive private borrowing created a bubble in which asset prices inflated and risky investments increased. When the bubble deflated, the deterioration of the portfolio and the insolvency of the financial system were exposed, which forced it to virtually stop all credit operations, a fall in the price of all assets, and the destructive power of the crisis on productive activity.
So, like in this case, what appeared to be like an internal financial crisis turned out to be a balance of pain and crisis, when everyone preferred the safety of the dollar and the crisis depends. In the case of Thailand and Indonesia, the central banks refused to recognize the problem of financial fragility and insist on supporting the banks through a loose monetary policy, accelerating the loss of reserves. So, besides accelerating the losses, it also accelerated the devaluation of the dollar, as you can see in the graphic that is there.
So did the government, what's the role of the government? Next. The government carry out different actions, such will be the case of emphasis on the industry's policies. There was an active role in which the state promote export and support for specific industries. That basically means that the government choose the winners because they give them support, protection, incentives for be competitive with other companies. They also start to promote the Asian capitalism, a special kind of Asian capitalism through the industry's policies and the industry institutional framework in favor to private sector. It means that the government create an institutional framework within which the private sector and the private sector could easily act. They basically move, the government move everything in favor to the private sector. On the other hand, the government established very close ties with the business class, being receptive to the problems of the persons, with allowed the implementation of policies in a horizontal way and not in a vertical way. And in addition to the existence of a competent, independent, and highly motivated bureaucracy. So, did anyone have a question?
Thank you, guys. Does anyone have a question for your classmates? Let me stop my clock.